All right, and once again, if you're just joining us, welcome to the Connecting Summer webinar. Please introduce yourself in the chat, share your contact info, what you do, where you work, and share your superpower as a resource for the community. Today's topic is the Elevate program. So we have special guest Lance Coffman, who's the regional small business consultant with the SBDC at Missouri State University efactory, and he's going to be chatting about that opportunity. And we have a special announcement at the end of the call today. So please be sure to stick around to the last few minutes. And if you're just joining us, please introduce yourself in the chat and welcome to Connecting SOMO. If you're new here, Innovate SOMO is the joint efforts between Codify and efactory, where we service the lower 47 counties of Missouri, and we bring all kinds of resources, training, small business help, tech startup help, tech training, pretty much everything across the gamut of economic development to be able to support our communities here in the lower part of Missouri. And today we have Lance Coffman to talk to us about the Elevate program. So Lance, I will go ahead and kick it over to you.
Crystal, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. It's good to be here talking about Elevate. It's a program that I hope most of you have heard of already, but if this is new information, I'm so happy to share this with you. It has been such an amazing program that we have run through the Missouri SBDC in conjunction with the Edward Lowe Foundation for several years now, and we have funding to put more people through this year. So let's dive in and talk about what is Elevate. So this is a program that's set up to help second stage businesses. That's 10 to 100 employees, about 1 million to 50 million in annual revenue. These businesses make up a little more than 18% of our Missouri businesses, but they create more than 40% of the jobs in our state. They have an outsized impact on our communities. They're also the ones that are involved in local chambers that are supporting you, that are supporting economic development. They're creating the revenue in the way of tax dollars. They are vital to our local economies. And these businesses, they're struggling. They're struggling in so many different ways. They're struggling to access the resources that they need to grow, to learn the information that they need to grow. They're struggling with isolation and a feeling like nobody understands what they're going through as business owners. And that is why we are here to help with Elevate. So as I mentioned, this is for second stage businesses, those that are the backbone of our community, that 10 to 100 employees, roughly about 1 million to 50 million in annual revenue, that are privately held and that are trying to grow, seeking growth in your community, trying to bring in those outside dollars into your local economy. So I mentioned they're struggling. What are their challenges? These companies, and I've talked to so many over the last few years, one of the main struggles that they have, and this also comes from Edward Lowe Foundation's larger research, but they struggle with access to information. So these are businesses that know information and resources are there to help. They know that there's these great marketing teams and sales teams that could come in and completely change everything and give them the processes that they need, but they don't necessarily have 25 grand to drop on that marketing consultant to come in and help them put together the plan that they need. They know that there are the HR resources and people who can come in with, the perfect headhunting campaign and find that key employee that they need to elevate and take that business to the next level. But they don't have 12 grand to bring that person in and go through that high level search. So they understand that these resources exist. They just can't access them. Another thing, and I hear this over and over again from the entrepreneurs, from the CEOs, from the presidents of these companies, they're isolated. Some of them, it's a husband and wife, or maybe a couple business partners that are working together, but they don't realize that anybody else understands the struggles that a second stage company has. And the second stage company, they have some unique challenges. It's a phase where they've moved from being responsible for themselves and maybe one or two other people, but when you are responsible for 10 other people and their families on payroll, or 50 other people and their families on payroll, the pressure becomes so much greater. Then you throw in uncertainty with tariffs or just supply chain logistics, uncertainty with orders coming in and people holding off because they're not sure where the economy is going, creates cash flow issues, and they don't think anybody else understands what they're going through. Not knowing that there are tons of other resources, tons of other business owners across the state who understand and who can relate. They also have the second stage business owners, they have a changing role. So they start their business and they're usually doing some sort of craft, some sort of thing that they love doing. And they have all these ideas and they are generating this business and they're growing to a point where they need to bring in a couple more people. So they bring in more people and then they have to bring in a few more and scale, which is a great thing. But then all of a sudden they're no longer doing what they love anymore. They're managing people. And they've never been taught to be a manager. They've never wanted to be a manager. I have not talked to any of these business owners who have said they wanted to be a manager and that's why they started the business. They always started it to do what they love. But now that they have a different role that they have to step into, they don't have the training or the skills that they need to do that to move into a management and then into a higher level leader role. And so the Elevate program is here to address these issues. So there's two different pieces that are both run through the Edward Lowe Foundation. One is a system for integrated growth, and that is a one-on-one, basically, um, we'll call it consulting, but it's education. Edward Lowe Foundation isn't allowed to do consulting, so it's education piece. But we bring in a team lead to work directly with the president or CEO of the company. And they jump in and do a deep dive into what this company needs, what some of the barriers are, and what some of the most potential areas for growth are within the company. And then they go back to Edward Lowe's team of 35 different subject matter experts, put together a small team of 2 to 3 individuals who work nationwide and sometimes internationally on very specific topics like supply chain management, like human resources and hiring, like sales, and putting together business to business sales pitches. Some of them work very heavily in government contracting or in international trade. And through all of these different experts that the team lead has access to, they put together the small team to work individually with the business to make sure that they have the exact resources tailored to them to help them grow. And after that, our team at the Missouri SBDC comes in and helps implement things over the next few months, working with them one-on-one at no charge. Another piece to this, and it really addresses the isolation theme that we see with the second stage business owners, is the CEO roundtable. And we have non-competing CEOs from across the state come together once a month for 6 months. And they sit together virtually and have a moderated discussion by a trained facilitator that just finds out what's going on in the business. And they come together, they decide on topics that are important to them at the time and talk through what that looks like in their business. They share their experiences, not advice back and forth, but this is what's happened. This is what's worked for me. This is what hasn't worked for me. And it's amazing to see. I get to sit through all of these roundtables, and it's amazing to see how maybe a fast food um, chain in Kansas City can learn from a retailer down in Springfield, and they can connect in such great ways, or have manufacturers in St. Louis that are learning from manufacturers in Cape Girardeau, and they're learning back and forth. And so it's so interesting to see how these connections are made through the roundtables. And in some cases, relationships have come out of it, and people continue to talk or continue to mentor after our engagement is officially over. And so it's such an impactful program just to give them a community that they don't necessarily have. Because, I live in a small town, halfway Missouri, about 200 people and a whole lot of cows. And you cannot talk to anybody in halfway without all of halfway knowing within 15 minutes. I'm guessing a lot of your communities are like that too. And The business owners don't want to say, hey, I'm struggling with cash flow this month because this major order that I was expecting didn't come in, because everybody knows about it. And when they employ half of your town, everybody in town is worried about what's going to happen to their job. This gives them an outlet to actually talk and come up with new ideas and to push forward. So it's been such a great program to work with. And, I've mentioned the Edward Lowe Foundation a lot. They're the ones who put this whole program together, and we've collaborated with them for a few years to put these pieces together. Quick background on Edward Lowe, in case you're not familiar. So he's the guy who invented kitty litter. So Tidy Cat was one of his brands, and he created another brand to compete against himself to create an industry that didn't exist before. So he invented the household cat. Through that, he sold it for a whole lot of money and a lot more than I will ever see, I'm sure, and created a foundation to specifically help these second stage entrepreneurs because he noticed as his journey progressed, this is the time when he had the most struggle getting from that 10 to 20 employees, that 20 to 50, that 50 to 100. There were so many challenges. And so he created the foundation specifically for this size, understanding those challenges and putting money into research and support of these companies. So I can talk all I want to, about how much I love this program. And I've been involved in it for a few years now, and I really have seen some great things come out of it. But I want to share a testimonial video that some of you might have seen already if you were at Innovate Soma Week, and some of you might not have. But let's hear from one of our participants what they experienced in Elevate program.
I'm the owner and president of Ernie Williamson Music. We are a multi-location instrumental music retailer. I wasn't seeking out the Elevate program in and of itself. I was just looking for a little bit of marketing assistance, but it ended up leading into something so much bigger and so much greater. Getting to work with the experts through the SIG engagement, which is Systems for Integrated Growth, was fantastic. For us in particular, we worked on marketing and operations. Our expert had tweaks and suggestions of things that we could do to make our strengths even stronger, which was really helpful. And then on the marketing side, we were paired with a true expert that had so many terrific suggestions. Bringing in someone who had a passion and knowledge for marketing and those endeavors, we felt like that was going to be kind of a key piece for us to be able to implement the things. The CEO roundtable side, you'll meet these other CEOs and you may wonder how your business is going to benefit from this different group of people around you. So like we're obviously a multi-location retailer, but there was folks in there that were involved in production, manufacturing, sometimes just listening to someone in a totally different industry than yours, having struggles that you can relate to. There's just a certain amount of comfort in that. But being able to also give back and know that you're helping others in return, that kind of full circleness of it makes it really, really enjoyable. If someone is undecided about participating in this Elevate program, you have absolutely nothing to lose. You have so much to gain. Like just think about the fact that you're going to get to work with one or two experts in an area of your business where you'd like to see improvement or growth or change. You're going to come out with more knowledge than what you had before and more friends. Some of those folks that I was in the CEO program have become friends. If you have the opportunity to do this program, you'd be ridiculous not to take advantage of it. I'm the owner and president of Ernie Williams.
Not play it again. There we go. So yeah, this is you're right, Doug. This is a great testimonial, and we have another one from another business owner up on our website. So you can get more information at efactory.missouri-state.edu/elevate. You can email me for more information, and I'm happy to connect you. We have templates that you can use to help refer people. We have all the different resources to make it easy for you to share. So you don't have to be an expert in this program. You don't have to know anything more than who it's for and that it can help them. And then you could let us do the rest. But that's kind of my ask today is in your community, who are those 2 or 3 businesses that are kind of the cornerstone, the ones that are the primary job creators? Who are those that are always involved in the chamber or used to be involved in the chamber meetings, and then they got too busy because they grew and don't have time to actually be involved anymore. Who are those people who are the cornerstone in your business community that can benefit from this? Send them our way because we want to help them in any way that we can. And this program is such an amazing resource. So through our current funding, we've had the funding to put 52 companies through. 38 have gone through already or are currently in. And so we have 14 more coming up in a new cohort that starts end of September, September 23rd. 3 of those spots are taken right now, which means there are 11 spots open for some of the people that you work with. So who are those people? Think through, please send them our way. I'm happy to help in any way that we can. So yeah, through this program, we are growing businesses, those that are the cornerstone to our community, and that helps us grow our communities. So so happy to be able to share this with you. And I know that a few people on this call have sent people through Elevate, and so I am, excited for that as well. So if you have experiences that you want to share, feel free to do so. But right now, I wanted to leave some time for questions. So if people have a couple questions about the program, I'm happy to answer.
Feel free to pop your questions in the chat, or you can simply unmute. Or if you want to go old school emoji, you can react and raise your hand. Any questions out there?
So how often are the cohorts? We have one that's currently running this year, one that has finished so far, and then one that's starting in on September 23rd. And that cohort is on the basically for the individual engagement, we pick a time period and anybody within a certain time period as part of that same CEO roundtable cohort. So that CEO roundtable cohort will be anybody who joined the program between July and end of September. And that is the last one that we have funding for right now. We are always looking for additional funds and ways to continue the program, but that is currently this one in September is the last one that we have slated under our current contracts. As far as size guidelines, we have a little bit of flexibility, but generally they are the 10 to 100 employees and about 1 million to 50 million in annual revenue. I have some companies that are about 750,000 in revenue and on track to make the million, and they work well. What we've seen is the companies that are smaller, especially those that staffing maybe only have 5 people, 2 or 3 people. While there are things that could be beneficial out of the program, they end up getting so much information from this that they get overwhelmed, and it almost hurts them if they get too much at this stage. And so, really, that is why we try to be not complete sticklers on the size guidelines, but we try to adhere to them as much as we can. And part of that's, because we know that this is where they could get the most benefit. And part of that is because those parameters are set by the Edward Lowe Foundation, and the foundation, is created for a specific purpose, and we want to honor that as well. But good question. And as far as one that I get asked pretty often, who makes a good business for this program? Because there are a lot of companies, 18% of the companies fall into this category. Not all of them are necessarily good fits for the program. So if it is one that has been talking about growth, that's usually a good sign that they're ready. Somebody that you have found to be reliable. So there's some people who have signed up with me and signed up multiple times and never shown up for a meeting. I can't put them through the program because they're not going to show up for any other meetings. So, reliable is usually a good thing. But then I think coachable, and that's something that's kind of hard to assess, but somebody who is appreciative of learning new knowledge, of gaining those insights, of getting new perspectives. So the type of person who always knows everything is probably not going to enjoy this. They're going to listen and say, yeah, that's great, but I already know what I'm doing, not actually benefit from it. So I have not had any people like that go through the program, but I know that they exist because I've talked to them just through one-on-one consulting. So that's kind of, really there's not any particular industry that works better than others. All industries are welcome. It is just those people who relatively fit within the size and are eager to learn because they want to grow. See, any other questions? I have a question for you. You don't have to answer in the chat or online or anything, but who do you have in mind? Who's the first company that came in mind when you started hearing about the program? Was there somebody that came in mind then? Because that might be somebody that you can make an introduction to. So yeah, if that person came to mind, send me an email or send them information on the program, and I'm happy to connect and put them through. See, help pitch. Why would somebody want to participate in Elevate? Are there social media posts that can share? So yeah, we can get you some social media posts. We put those out occasionally, and we can get you more. Roofing company. Uh, we've had construction industry in. I don't know about particular roofing company, but we have had people within that general construction industry, and that is a good fit. So home builders have worked well. Um, but why would somebody want to participate? It costs them nothing. We pay for it, um, with our grant funding. Normally, it would cost them a little more than $6,000 to participate in the program if we couldn't offer it. If they were contracting these people on their own, it would probably cost them about $12,000. So it gives them access to resources that they wouldn't have otherwise at no cost to them other than their time. We also keep the time commitment minimal because we know these are busy business owners. And so really it is that team of experts doing most of the work. And over a 6-week engagement, there's probably only 10 hours total of time that the business owner would need to invest. So really, we keep the time commitment minimal and give them a lot of resources through it. And then ongoing support through the Missouri SBDC to make sure that they kind of have a plan to implement everything that they've learned. Anything else? Right. If you think of something later, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to answer in any way that I can. And that link, I think that yes, that we put in the chat. My calendar is directly on there, so people can schedule with me. Any of you can schedule with me to ask questions. But feel free to email, reach out in any way. We're happy to help. So with that, Crystal, I think I will turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Lance. And thanks for taking us through that. I know so many companies have gotten a lot of value out of that program, and it's awesome that you all are able to bring that for free to the folks in Southern Missouri. One quick little announcement here. You all have probably seen some media around this and some teasings over the last few months, but the Show Me Network is officially live. So we have expanded from strictly serving Southern Missouri up into the northern part of Missouri as well through some grant funding that we received. This means we have some new hubs in northern Missouri in St. Joseph and Kirksville, and those will continue to expand with a focus on metros and smaller communities that are outside of larger cities like Kansas City and St. Louis. So this is our very last webinar today as the Innovate SOMO Network, and the next webinar on September 9th at 2 p.m. will be the statewide Show Me Network first webinar. So we hope you will come and join that. And please check out showmenetwork.org to read a little bit more about the expansion, the team, what all is going on. It's really just a duplication and expansion of our efforts here in Southern Missouri. We are just literally expanding up into Northern Missouri as well. Um, Innovate SOMO isn't going anywhere at the moment. The expansion includes Northern Missouri, but these resources are still very much here in your front and backyards. We are still here for you all in Southern Missouri as well. And stay tuned for more exciting news, updates, and resources for the expansion of the network. And I believe that concludes us today. So we hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. Next time, please invite a friend or a colleague. Be sure to share the exciting news about the expansion, and we hope to see you all in a month. Take care, everyone.